Hello y'all, this is your Restreamer Talk, and I just wanted to let you know Sandbag wanted me to pass along for anyone out there that he's not feeling the best, so that's why you're seeing the Sandbag in the webcam instead of Sandbag in the webcam. That is all. Alright, looks like Sandbag's mic does not seem to be turned on. I guess he's also not feeling the best as far as talking. That's fine, I understand how it is. I know I sound like death when I'm not feeling great, but that's alright. So, Sandbag did tell me a couple of things about this run before getting started. This is, for anyone who's not familiar, it's called Gods. It's on the Sega Genesis, and just at a cursory glance, it seems to be based on some of that Greco-Roman mythology. And he also wanted me to mention that this is not only a WR attempt, but that it is an extremely unforgiving game. I believe he mentioned that there are no continues, so he's got to play clean, otherwise it's just going to be bad times all around. It's looking so far so good. Well, this makes me through the stages. Ishi, you got anything you want to plug?
Yes, in fact, I absolutely do. We have done really well with meeting the incentives. So right now we have the Outpost 2 Divided Destiny bid war going on, and it is a super close race right now. Plymouth Campaign is in the lead with $20, but Eden Campaign is super close behind at $17. So there's only $3 difference. And Crow had said in the chat that Plymouth is the more strategically diverse run, while Eden is more technically involved. So they both sound really, really neat. So absolutely make a donation for which run you want to see Crow doing here later on today.
Boy, there's just really no substitute for that classic Genesis twang. That FM synth goodness. I don't know about you, but I certainly wish I could throw multiple daggers in a spread like that. That's a marketable skill right there. Put that on my curriculum vitae.
That is absolutely one of the skills I want most in this life.
Okay, I'm not the only one then. I will say, the one thing we can always absolutely count on Sandbag for at a BSB is to submit some games that many of us have never heard of and that are also brutally difficult, but that he's got down to an absolute science. So how many World 1s are there? I do definitely appreciate the fact that they went for very colorful visuals here, because it's one of those lost to history facts that I guess was kind of figured out in the not too distant past, where everyone else associates Greco-Roman architecture with being just kind of all white stone and marble and stuff, but more recent discoveries have found out that a lot of those buildings were actually very likely painted bright colors in the distant past, so they didn't look just like big white stone buildings. There was actually a lot more color involved, so so I guess unintentional historical accuracy. Way to go, gods! My goodness, dagger throwing, key puzzles, historical stuff, and rebuilding mosaics. This game really does have it all. I kind of wonder what the story is. Are those javelins? Oh my gosh, throwing 2 javelins at once? Let's get this guy in a Ghouls and Ghosts game. Ooh. Sandbag cruising along, but gotta be careful. Like we mentioned before, there are no continues. Still got 2 lives left, but he's gotta make sure he does not run out of them before this is over. Still over 10 minutes left, too, so I believe in Sandbag. Do you all believe in Sandbag? I believe in Sandbag.
I always believe in Sandbag.
Incidentally, Ishi, if you do have anything you would like to plug or any donations come in that you would feel are very timely, by all means feel free to interject at your leisure. Otherwise, I'm just kind of live reacting to this run. Yeah, and unfortunately, none of us, I think, were expected Sandbag to get sick and be unable to talk over this himself, so he didn't have time to prepare notes like with Fatal Rewind yesterday. So unfortunately, I am not particularly well prepared to talk about this game. So I'm doing my best, folks. But that means I'm also enjoying this fresh and blind like all y'all are. Is there nothing this guy can't throw in 3s? My gosh, what a legend. For some reason, I just saw something I can't unsee. This guy just looks kind of like ancient Greek version of the main character from Splatterhouse. Oh, let's be fair, Splatterhouse would be a very different game. You could throw 3 javelins. Ah, shortcut. Thank you, game. I don't know why, but I always kind of like games where they do things like that, where just different rooms have names, or it lets you know that you're changing locations. I also thought it was kind of neat, because I remember that, I think it was, Adam's Family on SNES and Genesis did the same thing, which, maybe it's just the Super Metroid speedrunner in me talking. Just like having rooms with names so you can talk about them with people. My gosh, this shop guy carries an entire building around in that sack. Those were different times. Everyone was apparently very strong, and also a magician. But he's just cruising along, just dealing with enemies as he goes. Just, I would like to think I probably would have died at least 3 dozen times by now if I were playing this game. Alright, it's not all World 1. There's a little bit of World 2. Good to know. Don't have to trot out the old 2 astronauts on the moon meme. Which is actually strangely appropriate for BSB, because the one astronaut does in fact have an Ohio flag on his shoulder. Ooh, and Sandbag has gotten himself some extra lives, so even though he lost one there, he's still up 1 from where he was for the last few minutes. You'll love to see it. Oh my goodness. That's how you know that the slowdown is getting serious, that even the mighty Genesis CPU is having a bit of a struggle. Ooh, is that a T-Rex in armor? No, is that a bipedal Minotaur? Wait, Minotaurs are bipedal. I promise I know more about mythology than this. What's it spitting out? I'm almost afraid to know. Power-ups. Oh. Boy, that's a bit of a gruesome visual. Oh, fun little trick there. It looks like landing a little bit to the left so that the shopkeeper gets to him sooner. Those little time saves. Hallmarks of speedrunning the world round. This is the Sega Genesis. You know, for sure, this game's definitely very heavy on the particle effects, and it's generally handling them pretty well, honestly. I don't even want to think what this would play like on if they tried to make a SNES port. Because, look, I like the SNES as much as the next person, perhaps even more so, but it does not handle a lot of sprites particularly well. You know, I'm sure you're absolutely right. It is very much the blast processing involved here. Ah, Ishii, I see we're united in being a Sega Genesis household. That was also the first one we had in my house. In the bygone year of 1992. That was a good Christmas. Sega Genesis, Sonic 2, and Ghostbusters. That's a thief, and why is it so chompy? Why is there a robot? I have so many questions. Apparently he picked up a mortar and pestle because, I guess we're going to be doing some chemist stuff. My gosh, there's so much going on. So many things that seem to just outright kill you. Also, goodness gracious, if I should be able to walk everywhere I go with as much conviction as this guy. Ooh. There's so many enemies in this little corridor here. It's making me a little bit nervous. No more puzzles, just find the key. Alright, that's pretty straightforward. Appreciate the honesty. Alright, extra life. My blood pressure is dropping slightly. My blood pressure is spiking again! I mean, I'm sure this is all calculated. Like, Sandbag dies for the most part in places where he expects to. At least I'd imagine so. Because he does seem to keep his life count around the same place throughout the run, but I have to imagine there's also a little bit of unexpected death. This is, after all, as he pointed out, an extremely unforgiving game. What is that? That... I don't know, but it's oh my god. We interrupt this grotesque monstrosity for a sweet dance battle. Like, no, seriously. It looks like it's supposed to be a skull, but it's on... This is some H.R. Geiger stuff here. Actually, perhaps not. Not enough weird ridges. That wiggly snake, though, is a little bit Geiger-esque, I suppose. At least it always seems to follow the same pattern. That's like 4 different attacks. You have to keep track of all of them and just dodge them. There we go. Great success. Wait, did it say game completed? Oh, right! Dang! Alright, so that was 1840, and Sandbag is reporting that is a new world record!
Congratulations, Sandbag. It is always an exciting moment when a marathon run is a new world record.